But people try and they fail because eventually their willpower runs out. But imagine if it could be made easy. Imagine if there were a weight loss drug that took away your need for willpower. It reduced your hunger cravings, made you more full. Would you not want that drug? Coach Greg, and obesity, it's a disease. And they have medication for it. And so we're going to be going over an episode of 60 Minutes in which they're talking about obesity being hereditary, that you're not your fault, that you can't do anything about it, and that there's actual medications that can solve the world's problems. Semaglutide, Ozempic, yay, we can solve it. It's no longer your fault. And so I'm going to watch the video. I'm going to explain the dangers, the problems, what you need to know. Is this the drug for you? And spoiler alert, the drug actually does work, although it does carry several important side effects.
It's a major health crisis because obesity can cause type 2 diabetes, hypertension, stroke, and more than a dozen cancers.
And I think it's important for people to understand that obesity has both genetic and environmental conditions. As in, yes, it is related to your genetics, but you can do something about it.
Almost half of American adults have obesity.
And so in watching Barbara Walters, who recently passed away, notice how she says people who have obesity. They're not obese, they have obesity. And so in saying that, you're being respectful to the person. Some people, they're obese because they're lazy, they eat a bunch of junk, and they just don't give a shit. But other people, they are genetically predisposed to gaining weight at an insurmountable rate. They might be exercising, they might be eating healthy, but their hunger hormones, they're simply out of whack. Their brain is not sending the proper signaling. They're always hungry. Do you not remember growing up when you were a kid? Some of your friends, they seemed to eat everything and anything. Chips, garbage, junk food, and they never gained a pound. While others, they seemed to eat well, but they were 100, 200, even 300 pounds overweight.
Now there's a medication that leads to dramatic weight loss. But it's wildly expensive.
But recently, a medication has been approved, and it is prescribed mostly to people who are very rich, as it's very expensive, $1,300, but it does in fact work, although with several side effects. And remember, obesity is a disease. It's been characterized as such, and so regardless if you agree with this or not, it's a disease. It's something you don't want to have. There's problems going on in your brain, your gut, that make it harder for you to lose weight. In the same sense, some people have higher cholesterol regardless if they exercise or eat right. They just have really poor cholesterol and they need medication to deal with that. And so if you are suffering from obesity, perhaps you need this medication to help you. And so just because someone is 200 pounds overweight, it doesn't mean they're lazy. It doesn't mean they're just eating junk. Yeah, they ate themselves that way. Perhaps they're not exercising enough, but you can't put all of the blame on them. Well, at least not most of the time. After all, consider this. I had Brentley here with me. Guy weighs 495 pounds, was formerly over 570. If I were paid $1 billion, Coach Greg, all you have to do is eat yourself to 500 pounds and we will solve the world's hunger. Everyone will be cured. No one will ever die. I could try to never do it. I could try and never do it. It would be physically impossible no matter how bad I try. Sitting down all day long, not doing cardio, eating high-calorie dense foods. My body simply couldn't store that much food. I couldn't swallow it. I would throw up, and I know this because I tried. I tried to break the world record to bench press by bulking up. Couldn't do it. And so for me, even 300 pounds couldn't get there. But for other people, it's literally hard for them to be below 500 pounds. I know you're thinking it's crazy, but imagine you're always hungry no matter what.
And very few insurance companies will cover it, even though in 2013, the American Medical Association recognized obesity as a disease.
And so despite the fact that it's a disease, not all insurance companies are going to cover the expenses. But imagine if they would. Consider that obesity leads to type 2 diabetes, cancers, heart attacks, strokes, and so on. Imagine how many lives could be saved if only people could lose weight. And if this drug can help, then why shouldn't they take it?
She's been working out 5 to 6 times a week, consistently. She's eating very little. her brain is defending a certain set point.
And so the problem is we all have a genetic set point of which where bodies want to weigh a certain amount. We want a certain amount of body fat. And as you gain more weight, that genetic set point can go up. Now, some things you can do, for example, cardio makes it go down. And so although it's a disease, if we apply the right things, we can in fact make it better. Problem is, most people don't want to. Cardio. Why would I want to do cardio? And look at almost all YouTubers making videos saying, hey, this is how you can lose weight without doing cardio. Why? Because people are lazy. That's right. I said it. You're lazy. And so if you want to lose weight and you're not doing cardio, well, it's kind of your fault now, isn't it? You have high blood pressure. They give you blood pressure meds. I refuse to take it. And so if cardio is in fact something that's going to help you, imagine saying no to cardio. Cardio, one of the best things you could ever do to improve your health.
We have to look at the different causes of obesity as a big pie. And that's one factor. But the number one cause of obesity is genetics.
And so it's stated the number one cause of obesity is in fact your genetics. And many people are going to argue, no, it's not. It's just eating too much food. It's not exercising. And to that, I argue with this. If you have amazing genetics and your hunger hormones are always going through, you're not going to be hungry. You sit on the couch, you watch TV, you're not hungry. And I would use my girlfriend as the perfect example. Woman eats whatever she wants, whenever she wants, as much of it as she wants, and hardly does any cardio. If I ate like that, I'd probably weigh 300 pounds. She's eating pizza, garlic fingers, candies all the time. And heaviest she's ever gotten, 164 pounds. She's eating over 3,000 calories a day, 164 pounds. She has an amazing metabolism. And so if you're someone blessed with amazing genetics like my girlfriend, well, how are you ever going to get obese? But if you're the opposite, you're always starving, and when you eat food, you're never full. Well, you're going to eat that pizza and keep eating it and keep eating it. And suddenly you're ballooned up and you're 100 pounds overweight. And so one of the problems is doctors, they don't understand obesity. And listen, how could they? Do you know how much they have to understand? I had to see a neurosurgeon to understand my brain, getting MRIs done to see what damage is done. I don't have a concussion. He says I have a contracule, a hematoma in the brain from the brain bouncing around. How could I expect my family doctor to understand all of this? And so if you're going through obesity and you have a doctor that doesn't understand it and just says, diet and exercise, you're great. And you're thinking, yeah, I dieted and exercised, and I'm starving all the time. I saw the dietitian, gave me exactly what to eat, chicken, broccoli, and rice, and nuts, and I'm starving, and I can't handle it. And obviously, you can't break the laws of thermodynamics, and if you could stick to eating in a deficit month after month, of course you'd lose weight. But people try, and they fail because eventually their willpower runs out. But imagine if it could be made easy. Imagine if there were a weight loss drug that took away your need for willpower. It reduced your hunger cravings, made you more full. Would you not want that drug? And so that is what Ozempic or Semaglutides can do. And so what a GLP-1 agonist does is it slows gastric emptying and makes you full for longer. And so consider this. Imagine your intestines, they kind of have a brain of their own. And when you eat, the intestines send signals to the brain and regulate how fast is that food going to go through your body and how full are you going to feel. And so you may have been told in the past, chew your food more slowly, take your time eating to allow those signals to get to the brain to allow you to feel full. And so if you take your time eating, eventually your brain says, you've had enough. You can put the fork down. But imagine you don't get that signal. And anyone who's dieted, done a bodybuilding competition, and you've gone to a buffet and said, I can eat the entire buffet. The brain is not working correctly. It should be saying, hey, you're full. Your stomach, it's out to here. You've eaten 10 pounds of food, but yet you can keep going. You're still hungry. And so what a GLP-1 agonist does is it helps your brain to understand these signals and allows you to feel full, regulates your appetite, and so you're less hungry. Problem is, it comes with side effects. There's always a catch now, isn't it? Imagine there were no side effects. This would be the magic pill that would solve the world's problems. Want to go on a diet? Take this pill, only it's an injection, and you're not going to be hungry, and you go about your day. And so I think it's important to understand, don't you think that all these people walking around with obesity If they could just snap their fingers and not be hungry and just eat less, that they would. That they'd prefer not to be obese. And sure, we have some people, Lizzo, saying, love your body, rubbing their belly, saying, I love being obese. But do they really want to take 20 plus years off their life for being morbidly obese? Do they really want to struggle with daily activities? I'm certain that they do not. And so unless you've been morbidly obese, you can't just understand and relate and say, why don't they just put the fork down? Why don't they just do more cardio? Sure, it would help, but eventually that willpower would run out. And so you can't expect all people in the world to all walk around with single-digit body fat. It doesn't make sense, it's not healthy, and it's not appropriate to expect people to all be shredded. And despite the fact I'm a bodybuilder and I know what I'm doing, it's still hard. And so I can relate to someone like Brentley who's close to 500 pounds. Do you really think he wants to be 500 pounds? Do you really think if he was never hungry and full and satisfied that he would continue to eat? And even if he did, have you not ever gone through phases where you just eat as much as you want? I have. I was force feeding myself to put on weight. Got to a certain weight, couldn't gain a pound, was too full. Waking up in the middle of the night, throwing up. I'd eaten too much.
These drugs have not yet been proven to work well for long-term weight management and can have complications and adverse impacts on patients.
Also, did you know that semaglutide has been shown to cause muscle loss? That's right, you have less muscle. How many of you, raise your hand, want to lose muscle? Also, what about the fatigue, low energy, and nausea? And so you want to lose weight, you take the drug, and you have no energy or nauseous, you don't feel good. Does that sound like a drug you want? Oh, and you need to take it for the rest of your life. If you stop taking it, you're going to regain the weight. And so it's kind of like HRT. Once you take semaglutide, Ozempic, you need to take this for the rest of your life. You're 30 years old, you're obese, you take it, well, expect to take it for 50 straight years. Oh, and let's not forget about pancreatitis, constipation, bloating, thyroid cancer. Anyone want that? Yeah, you can get that too. And what about training? Oh, you're an athlete. You just want to take it to get shredded. Your coach said, oh, this is a secret. You get shredded for your next show. You know what can cause? Hypoglycemia. Imagine going to the gym and feeling dizzy, lightheaded, weak, not having energy. Does that sound like something you want all in your quest to lose weight? Sure, it works. On average, 15 to 22% weight loss. And so if you weigh 300 pounds, you can expect to lose somewhere between 45 and 66 pounds. It's a lot. But at what cost? Well, $1,600 for 4 months, repeated for the rest of your life, as well as the bloating, the constipation, the problems, potentially getting cancer, weakness, low energy, feeling nauseous all the time. Is that what you want?
That at last she has a highly effective medication to offer her patients that's safe, according to the FDA.
Does it sound safe? Well, if you can live with all the side effects that I just explained, and you want to take this, well, by all means, be my guest. But could there potentially be something out there that's better? Something different without all these negative side effects? Well, what if I told you, in fact, there is? And I'm not making this shit up. There is something out there. Doesn't work exactly like this, but it can in fact help you to lose weight and keep it off without any of the negative side effects. Not only that, it can help with your sleep, to live longer, ward off age-related illnesses, to put you in a better mood and enable you to perform cardio at a faster pace, which results in becoming a better butter burner. And so have you ever heard of NMN? And so it's been making waves as of late as the FDA recently decided, hey, this is too good to be true. We want to reclassify it as a drug. And so in the United States, they've decided to ban NMN. And so we don't know how long before they will start cramping down on this, saying you can't buy it, but for now, right now, you can still get it. And NMN is the main ingredient in GO2 max. And remember, this science is backed by human studies, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies with humans. And so let me blow your mind right now. 50% improvement in walking distance scores by average people, in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And they were not told they had to exercise. They gave them the pill, and in comparison to placebo, it's not a placebo effect. They said, hey, let's test you now, and later on we'll test you again. 50% improvement. They never said you had to exercise. Some did, of course. The pill, you take it, put you in a better mood. Perhaps they're going for more walks. They're getting in better shape. Some, maybe they didn't. But regardless of that, they got better. And why is NAD plus important? Well, as you get older, it's diminished in the body. And so it's very important as you age. And so as you get older, you have less NAD plus. And so by taking GO2 max, of which the main ingredient is in fact NMN, you have more NAD plus and less of all these problems. And in a sense, it makes you younger, feel younger, better able to perform cardio. And if you can perform more cardio and you're in a better mood, it makes you, in a sense, more fit. You're a better butter burner. When you go and do your cardio, you burn more calories in less amount of time. Remember with Semaglutide, you have to take it for the rest of your life. Not with GO2 max. You become a better butter burner, more fit. You stop taking it. You still benefit from the increased fitness. And so although GO2 max is not cheap, it's far cheaper than taking a Semaglutide. And we have in fact bundled GO2 max so you can buy it in bulk at a much cheaper price. And so depending on how many you take a day, either 1, 2, or 3 a day, it would cost 5 to 15 times less than taking a semaglutide. If you're on the max dose, which of course I am, as it increases my power output on the bike, I'm way better at cardio. I'm winning bike races. Even with a contusion, all the damage to the brain, I'm still winning a freaking bike race. And so I feel good. I have more energy. I'm in a positive spirit. And so I highly, strongly encourage you to get GO2 max. And as my ranking, this is the best supplement in the world. I know most of you are going to say creatine's the best. Perhaps you're saying caffeine. But if there was one supplement I had to take, by far, this is the one. Sure, creatine gets you an extra rep. Perhaps hold a couple pounds more water in the muscle. Great. NMN perhaps makes you live a longer life. Which is more important? And on top of that, they were given an SF36 questionnaire, of which it's being used to see how is their mental outlook. Are they depressed? Are they irritable? What's going on? And lo and behold, huge statistically significant improvements. And that's compared to placebo. And so don't think it's a placebo effect. This is not the placebo effect. And so if you don't think that this is the best supplement in the world, I don't know what you're looking for. This is the supplement that you want to take if you're trying to lose weight, keep it off, improve fitness, feel better about yourself, and possibly even live longer. Remember when you first started lifting weights and you seem to get stronger all the time? Well, expect that kind of result when taking GO2 max, except apply it to doing cardio. And so if you hate cardio, try leveraging other things that you like and doing them at the same time. You drink your caffeine, you feel good, you're watching a video, perhaps listening to music. And it adds to the enjoyment of that cardio. And before you know it, you will learn to love the cardio, especially when you're getting faster. Is it not more enjoyable? You're walking, and every week you're walking a little bit faster. You're burning more calories in less length of time. And so in comparison to a semaglutide or Ozempic, of which costs a fortune and has several negative side effects, GO2 max has no known negative side effects. And so the only reason not to take it, perhaps you can't afford it. Aside from that, to me, this is a no-brainer. And so if you're interested in GO2 max or you want to know more about it, please write us. We can send you material. You can read the studies. Don't just take my word for it. Of course, I respect the fact that you want to listen to me, but I want you to read it and understand it yourself and not just take my word for it. Please do your own research. Read the articles. Understand the science and see that I'm not just making this up. And so listen, if you're suffering from obesity, I want you to know it's partly genetic and partly environmental. And no matter who you are, you can in fact do better. I don't expect people who are hundreds of pounds overweight to get to their dream physique and think it's going to be easy. Of course it's not. But you should be able to get halfway there. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I think everyone can be the best version of themselves. It doesn't have to be perfection. You don't need to have a six-pack and look like your favorite Gymshark model, but you can be healthy. You don't owe this to me. You owe it to yourself. Be proactive with your health. Of course, get the friggin' cookbook, use code Greg, 10% off, and I hope this video can help. Subscribe, click the bell button, like the video if you liked it. If you found this was helpful, give me that like button. It's going to help a lot. Also, if you could write a comment, that really helps the algorithm. It'll show more people this video. They'll say, wow, I learned a lot from this. So please write a comment, like the video if you liked it, subscribe, watch the tube loops, and of course, the cookbooks, the training books, the Circle Diet book, phone consults, coaching plans by me and my team. It can help you to lose weight in the long haul. Please consider reaching out. Code Greg, 10% off. Follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IB Pro. And until next time, I am out.